Odes of Solomon. Ode 21. My arms I lifted up to the Most High, even to the grace of Yahweh, because he had cast off my bonds from me, and my helper had lifted me up to his grace and to his salvation. And I put off darkness and clothed myself with light, and my soul acquired a body, free from sorrow or affliction or pains. And increasingly helpful to me was the thought of Yahweh and his fellowship in incorruption. And I was lifted up in his light, and I served before him, and I became near to him, praising and confessing him. My heart ran over and was found in my mouth, and it arose upon my lips, and the exaltation of Yahweh increased on my face, and his praise likewise. Hallelujah. Ode 22. He who brought me down from on high also brought me up from the regions below. And he who gathers together the things that are betwixt is he also who cast me down. He who scattered my enemies had existed from ancient, and my adversaries. He who gave me authority over bonds, that I might loose them. He that overthrew by my hands the dragon with 7 heads, and thou hast set me over his roots, that I might destroy his seed. Thou wast there, and didst help me, and in every place thy name was a rampart to me. Thy right hand destroyed his wicked poison, and thy hand leveled the way for those who believe in thee. And thou didst choose them from the graves, and didst separate them from the dead. Thou didst take dead bones, and didst cover them with bodies. They were motionless, and thou didst give them energy for life. Thy way was without corruption, and thy face thou didst bring thy world to corruption, that everything might be dissolved and then renewed, and that the foundation for everything might be thy rock, and on it thou didst build thy kingdom, and it became the dwelling place of the saints. Hallelujah. Ode 23. Joy is of the saints, and who shall put it on but they alone? Grace is of the elect, and who shall receive it except those who trust in it from the beginning? Love is of the elect, and who shall put it on except those who have possessed it from the beginning? Walk ye in the knowledge of the Most High without grudging, to his exaltation and to the perfection of his knowledge. And his thought was like a letter, his will descended from on high, and it was like sent like an arrow, which is violently shot from the bow. And many hands rushed to the letter to seize it and to take and read it. And it escaped their fingers, and they were affrighted at it and at the seal that was upon it, because it was not permitted to them to loose its seal, for the power that was over the seal was greater than they. But those who saw it went after the letter, that they might know where it would alight, and who should read it, and who should hear it. But a wheel received it, and came over it, And there was with it a sign of the kingdom and of the government, and everything which tried to move the wheel, it mowed and cut down. And it gathered the multitude of adversaries, and bridged the rivers, and crossed over and rooted up many forests, and made a broad path. The head went down to the feet, for down to the feet ran the wheel, and that which was a sign upon it. The letter was one of command, for there were included in it all districts. And there was seen at its head the head which was revealed, even the Son of Truth, from the Most High Father. And he inherited and took possession of everything, and the thought of many was brought to naught. And all the apostates hasted and fled away, and those who persecuted and were enraged became extinct. And the letter was a great volume, which was wholly written by the finger of Elohim. And the name of the Father was on it, and of the Son, and of the Ruach HaKodesh, to rule forever and ever. Hallelujah. Ode 24. The dove fluttered over the Messiah, because he was her head, and she sang over him, and her voice was heard, and the inhabitants were afraid, and the sojourners were moved. The birds dropped their wings, and all creeping things died in their holes, and the abysses were opened which had been hidden, and they cried to Yahweh like women in travail. And no food was given to them, because it did not belong to them. And they sealed up the abysses with the seal of Yahweh. And they perished in the thought, those that had existed from ancient times. For they were corrupt from the beginning, and the end of their corruption was life. And every one of them that was imperfect perished, for it was not possible to give them a word that they might remain. And Yahweh destroyed the imaginations of all them that had not the truth with them. For they who in their hearts were lifted up were deficient in wisdom, and so they were rejected, because the truth was not with them. For Yahweh disclosed his way and spread abroad his grace, and those who understood it know his Kodashah, holiness. Hallelujah. Ode 25. I was rescued from my bonds, and unto thee, my Elohim, I fled. For thou art the right hand of my salvation, Yeshua, and my helper. Thou hast restrained those that rise up against me, and I shall see him no more, because thy face was with me, which saved me by thy grace. But I was despised and rejected in the eyes of many, and I was in their eyes like lead. And strength was mine from thyself, and help. Thou didst set me a lamp at my right hand and at my left, and in me there shall be nothing that is not bright. And I was clothed with the covering of thy Ruach Spirit, and thou didst remove from me my raiment of skin. For thy right hand lifted me up and removed sickness from me, and I became mighty in the truth, and Kodesh, holy, by thy righteousness. And all my adversaries were afraid of me. and I became admirable by the name of Yahweh, and was justified by his gentleness, and his rest is forever and ever. Hallelujah. Ode 26. I poured out praise to Yahweh, for I am his. And I will speak his Kodesh song, for my heart is with him. For his harp is in my hands, and the odes of his rest shall not be silent. I will cry unto him from my whole heart. I will praise and exalt him with all my members. From the east and even to the west is his praise, and from the south and even to the north is the confession of him. And from the top of the hills to their utmost bound is his perfection. Who can write the Psalms of Yahweh, or read them? Or who can train his being, soul, for life, that his being, soul, may be saved? Or who can rest on the Most High, so that with his mouth he may speak? Who is able to interpret the wonders of Yahweh? For he who could interpret would be dissolved, and would become that which is interpreted. For it suffices to know and rest. For in rest the singers stand, like a river which has an abundant fountain, and flows to the help of them that seek it. Hallelujah. Ode 27. I stretched out my hands and sanctified my Yahweh. For the extension of my hands is his sign, and my expansion is the upright tree. Ode 28. As the wings of doves over their nestlings, and the mouth of their nestlings towards their mouths, so also are the wings of the Rawak over my heart. My heart is delighted and exults, like the babe who exults in the womb of his mother. I believed, therefore I was at rest, for faithful is he in whom I have believed. He has richly blessed me, and my head is with him. And the sword shall not divide me from him, nor the scimitar. For I am ready before destruction comes, and I have been set on his immortal pinions. And he showed me his sign forth, and given me to drink. And from that life is the Ruach within me, and it cannot die, for it lives. They who saw me marveled at me, because I was persecuted, and they supposed that I was swallowed up, for I seemed to them as one of the lost, and my oppression became my salvation, and I was their reprobation, because there was no zeal in me. Because I did good to every man, I was hated. And they came round me like mad dogs, who ignorantly attack their masters. For their thought is corrupt, and their understanding perverted. But I was carrying water in my right hand, and their bitterness I endured by my sweetness. And I did not perish, for I was not their brother, nor was my birth like theirs. And they sought for my death, and did not find it, for I was older than the memorial of them. And vainly did they make attack upon me, and those who, without reward, came after me. They sought to destroy the memorial of him who was before them. For the thought of the Most High cannot be anticipated, and his heart is superior to all wisdom. Hallelujah. Ode 29. Yahweh is my hope. In him I shall not be confounded. For according to his praise he made me, and according to his goodness even so he gave unto me. And according to his mercies he exalted me, and according to his excellent beauty he set me on high, and brought me up out of the depths of Sheol, and from the mouth of death he drew me. And thou didst lay my enemies low, and he justified me by his grace. For I believed in Yahweh's Mashiach, Messiah, and it appeared to me that he is Yahweh. And he showed him his sign, and he led me by his light, and gave me the rod of his power, that I might subdue the imaginations of the peoples, and the power of the men of might, to bring them low, to make war by his word, and to take victory by his power. And Yahweh overthrew my enemy by his word, and he became like the stubble which the wind carries away. And I gave praise to the Most High, because he exalted me, his servant, and the son of his handmaid. Hallelujah.